To discuss this, I'm joined now from Ramallah in the occupied West Bank by Mustafa Barghouti. He's the Secretary General of the Palestinian National Initiative. And in West Jerusalem, we have Matan Peleg. He's the CEO of the Zionist movement in Tirtzu. Gentlemen, welcome to the Newsmakers. This is a highly contentious issue, so I ask you first and foremost to listen to each other before while they're making their respective points. Matan, let me begin with you. Why is this a good law?
Well, this is a very good and important law for Israel because Israel, unfortunately, a lot of people try to fight from within Israel to change the Israeli character, the Jewish democratic character of Israel. So it is very important to defend it by law. Because the battle of ideas against the Jewish state is all around, it's international, and it's important to do it. As of course, Israel, as a Jewish democratic state, is the country that provides more human rights and civil rights than any other country in the Middle East. So we are the good side, and it's important to save and defend the good side.
Okay, Mustafa Barghouti, are the Palestinians trying to change the character of the area, or is this a first step towards an apartheid state?
No, what has happened is not good for anybody, actually. It's bad for the future of the whole region, and it's very shameful for the Jewish people. As my friend Daniel Barenboim, the well-known world musician, wrote 2 days ago, he said he is ashamed of being an Israeli after passing this law. Because this law means that Zionism is exposing itself as a racist movement, as a form of racism. This law creates a system, or consolidates actually a system of apartheid, where 20% of the population who carry Israeli citizenship are now excluded. And it says that the right of self-determination is exclusive for Jewish people. And at the same time, it says that settlement activities are national value, Jewish value, and it doesn't say what are the borders of Israel, which means that this apartheid system applies also to us in the West Bank and Gaza and East Jerusalem, which are occupied territories by international law. And this nationalism and racism applies also to the Golan Heights, where Syrian people also live. In my opinion, this law is about killing the possibility of two-state solution. It's about killing the possibility of peace, and it consolidates Israel as a system of much worse and much more arrogant apartheid than what prevailed in South Africa at one point of time. I can say that what we see today is the arrogance of power reflected in a form of apartheid.
Well, to say, yeah, but to say, you are saying, I'm sorry, but you are saying apartheid on Israel. Well, I think this argument is someone is I'm sorry, but or making a mistake, or is a liar, or much worse. Why? In Israel, there are judges, policemen, soldiers that are Arabs. We live shoulder to shoulder, and again, in this country, Arabs live better life than any other country in the Middle East. So let's give respect to the best country in the Middle East that provides more human rights than any other country in the Middle East.
You are saying it is Jewish only.
I want to answer to you.
No, you are saying
wrong.
it is
I have
Jewish
a lot of friends. Don't interrupt me because I didn't interrupt you. Israel
You interrupted
has
me first.
So much minorities.
You interrupted me and you said it was a lie. I think you are the one who is lying now.
Mustafa Barghouti, let's actually give a chance
to
Matan to reply.
The Christian population
what you are advocating
in Israel
is fascism.
The population. No, I'm sorry. Maybe you don't know what
you
fascism is.
You are a fascist person if you advocate this law. This is what
Barghouti,
Germany did during the Nazi time.
Gentlemen,
they promoted German values
Matan Peleg, let me ask
nationalism.
You.
You are
Peleg.
becoming like the fascist.
Mr. Barghouti, let's not actually get into name calling right now. Matan, let me just ask you.
First of all,
there are certain circles in your country, in Israel, that says that this new law actually tries to change the balance between the democracy in Israel and Israel as a Jewish state. How would you reply to these sort of criticism coming from within your own country?
Well, first of all, because Israel is a free country and a democratic country, it is natural for us to have arguments about every event and every opinion. This is very good. But at the end of the day, Israel is a Zionist state because a Jewish democratic state is a mechanism that was invented by Zionism. And this mechanism brings more human rights and stability than any other country in the Middle East, including Turkey and Egypt and other countries. So let's, again, give respect to this country. Now, let's not forget, the Christian population in Israel is getting bigger than in other areas in the Middle East, just getting smaller. Arabs in Israel getting much more rights than any other place. So I think to defend the character of Israel as a Jewish democratic state is to defend, again, the only mechanism who defend human rights. At the end of the day, human rights is what is important here. Children's rights. And when we are looking at the children, and when I measure a life of children in Israel, and also in Judea and Samaria, comparing to what is going on in Syria, comparing what is going on in Gaza, comparing what is going on in other places in the Middle East, I know that this country needs to defend its own character. And what to do? This character is a Jewish democratic state. So we are very proud of it, not only because of historic reasons, but also, again, because it provides more human rights and stability to all, to women, to LGBT, to minorities, and we are proud of it.
Okay, Mustafa Barghouti, the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that we will keep ensuring civil rights in Israel's democracy. Is this assurance not enough for you?
You have to guarantee that he will not interrupt me because I did not interrupt him.
Mustafa Barghouti,
First of all, Israel was built on the ruins of the ethnic cleansing of the Palestinian people in Palestine. When Israel was created, the Palestinians were the majority on this land. Who ethnically cleansed 700,000 Palestinians, which was 70% of the Palestinian population, and now is saying these people cannot come back to their homes, which they were forced to leave 70 years ago, while any Jewish person anywhere in the world can come and consider himself a citizen in our land. That is the first racist act that was taken. Now he says that Israel is a democracy. How Israel can be a democracy when it is occupying the rest of us, the Palestinians in West Bank and Gaza Strip, for more than 50 years? This is the longest occupation in modern history. We are subjected not only to discrimination, we are subjected also to military rule. We are subjected to oppression. We are subjected to killing. This is not a democracy. He can compare, he's trying to compare himself to Syria. I suggest that he can compare Israel to the fascist regime in the Nazi Germany, which executed Jewish people, and he can compare himself to the fascist regime in Italy, which was also discriminatory. This is not a democracy. This is apartheid. And he should be ashamed of himself of defending apartheid. You cannot interrupt me. Shut up. You cannot interrupt me. Let me finish.
Show respect.
What Israel has, there is a moderator and he can give you the role to speak. What you have created is a system of apartheid, and this is not a democracy. You cannot have democracy and apartheid. You have to decide, are we equal human beings or not? We now, the Palestinians on the land of historic Palestine, are more than the Jewish Israelis by a fraction of a percent. Why do you have all the rights? Why every Jewish person can come to Palestine while our refugees who were forced out of this land?
Mustafa Barghouti, can just hold on just one second. Matan, thank you very much for holding on. Let me ask you the last question. Is this the end of democracy, and is this the end of a possible solution to a two-state solution?
It is the end of democracy, of course, and the end of possibility of peace.
Mustafa Barghouti, let's actually listen to Matan.
I gave you a long speech. Barghouti, I gave you a long time to speak. First of all, of course, it's not the end of democracy. It's the celebration of democracy because, as I said before, this
celebration of fascism,
the character
celebration
of
racism,
and I will tell you something more. One of the only reasons. Let me answer, please. Let me answer, please. One of the reasons, maybe the most important reason, that all the Arabic world see the Palestinians as a joke is because the Palestinian. They don't choose life.
We are not a joke. We are people who are struggling for freedom, and you should be polite in using your words. Palestinians are not a joke.
Using terror.
You cannot say that about other people.
Even now, Even now,
you can't
even
say
now when I
about
try to
Palestinians
speak,
that
you
they are a
interfere.
joke. This is
Why?
racism. This is exactly what we are talking about. You are being racist by describing Palestinians as a joke.
When you are
How can you say that?
Please listen to me. Matan, Peleg, and Mustafa Barghouti, thank you very much. I know this is a very contentious issue.
So just because they interrupt, I wanted to say, I just want
a new page in Israeli-Palestinian relations. Thank you for both of you for joining us here on the Newsmakers.